Good day, everyone. I am Eric Phil Estrada, and today I will be discussing about social mobilization strategy. Often, when we think of development programs, whether it's a health drive or an agricultural initiative, we think about logistics, moving supplies, or building infrastructure. But true development actually requires moving people. So, before we dive into the strategy, let's define what is social mobilization. So, social mobilization is defined as a planned, broad scale process that seeks to facilitate change by rallying various sectors to support a specific program. Its goal isn't just to deliver a service, but to create a sense of ownership within the community, ensuring that the changes we make are sustainable and self reliant. So, to make this happen, we cannot just talk to the general public. We have to target specific sectors strategically. McKee in 1992 identifies five distinct approaches based on who we are mobilizing. First is the political mobilization. In this, we target national leaders and policymakers. Why? Because we need their political will to change policies and allocate national budgets. Second, government mobilization. This is distinct from political mobilization. Here we target the service providers and government agencies like the Department of Health, DSWD, or DepEd. This is to ensure they cooperate and actually deliver the program. Third is community mobilization. We reach out to local leaders, religious figures, tribal heads, and grassroots groups. We need their influence to gain acceptance on the ground. Then, fourth is corporate mobilization. We engage the business sector to provide sponsorships, resources, or advertising support. And finally, is the beneficiary mobilization. We target the actual users. These are the farmers, teachers, or mothers, depends on our target audience. This is to motivate them to participate. So we know now who to target, but how do we move them? Social mobilization relies on six synchronized component strategies. These are not independent activities. They work together like gears in a machine. They are advocacy, information, education, and communication, or IEC, community organizing, or CO, training and capability building, networking and alliance building, and finally, monitoring and evaluation. So let's break this down to see how they function. So the first gear is advocacy. This is primarily how we achieve political mobilization. Advocacy is the organization of information into arguments used to persuade decision makers or our national leaders. We aren't just informing them, we are convincing them. Our goal here is to create a positive environment for the program by securing commitment from influential figures, especially our lawmakers, who has the power of allocating budgets. Without this top level support, the grassroots efforts often lack resources. Once we have the leaders, we need the public. This is where information, education, and communication, or IEC, comes in. While advocacy targets the few in power, IEC targets the many. Its goal is threefold: to generate knowledge, change attitudes, and create demand for services. We often use the enter educate approach. This is combining entertainment with education. Whether it's a radio drama or a catchy jingle, we want the message to be popular, pervasive, and personal so that people don't just know about the program, they want it. Then, however, information alone is not enough. We need action. This brings us to community organizing, or CO. This is the basic element of mobilization at the grassroots level. Community organizing isn't just about gathering people in a room. It's about empowerment. We help community members identify their own problems and harness their own resources to solve them. When a community organizes, they stop being passive beneficiaries and became active partners. This is essential because, as we know, external efforts alone cannot bring development. It must come from within. So, to keep that community active, they need skills. This is the role of training and capability building. We provide training not just to our own staff, but to community volunteers and advocates. We enhance their skills in leadership, service delivery, and resource sharing. Why? Because eventually the development agency will leave. Training ensures sustainability, allowing the community to sustain the program independently long after we are gone. And the final two strategies hold the whole system together. Networking and alliance building allows us to expand our reach. We forge partnerships with NGOs, religious groups, and private companies who share our goals. This is the common thread that links different sectors, allowing us to share resources and present a united front. Finally, monitoring and evaluation. This is our meterstick. Monitoring tells us if we are doing things right, which same as efficiency, while evaluation tells us if we are doing the right things, which pertains to impact. It allows us to identify weak spots and adjust our strategies in real time. So putting this all together requires a disciplined cycle. We don't just jump in, we follow the steps. First is assess needs. What is the actual problem? Then define the objectives. What exactly do we want to achieve? Then identify targets. Who are the allies we need? Political, corporate, etc. Then plan the details. What specific IEC or advocacy activities so will reach them? Then implement, put the plan into action. And lastly, check our progress and adjust. So let's take a look at a real world example. So this is the expanded program on immunization, EPI in the Philippines, known as Oplan Alis disease. So this was in the 90s. The goal was to immunize every child against polio and measles. They didn't just use doctors; they used social mobilization. First, in the political, they secured visible support from two national presidents. This the time of Aquino and Ramos. Then, in terms of media, or the IEC, broadcasters aired endorsements for free, reaching millions. Then, corporate, business clubs, and private sectors provided logistics and food for volunteers. Then, community, there were 40,000 volunteers which were mobilized to help. Then the result is 9 million children vaccinated in a single campaign and a massive sense of community ownership. So that ends my presentation, and I hope you learned something. Thank you and good day.